And welcome to the Marcus and Mike Show. I am Mike. My man over here to my left is Marcus. Marcus, how you doing on this beautiful Thursday afternoon?
I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day here in San Antonio. Sunny skies and everything. We had a lot of rain, but not today. And I'm just anxious about tonight. Let's hurry up and in this Warriors dynasty. It's already been prolonged more than it should have been, and I think it ends tonight. Let's just end this agony for these Warriors fans. I
Before
mean,
we
I
get
feel
too much into that, we got to give a big shout out to the St. Louis Blues. They won their first
yes,
ever NHL Finals last night.
yeah,
For of you guys that don't know, I was on a podcast earlier in the year. I don't know, back in January, February, with my man Chris Hill, and I don't know anything about hockey. Like I know they hit some pucks and it's offsides and icing and all that good stuff. I don't know what icing is, but it's there's some icing and stuff. But I was like, Chris, I'm going to pledge my allegiance to the St. Louis Blues. This is right at the start of the hockey year, and then they lost like 30 straight games. It was horrible. They were the worst team in the NHL. They're like 2-22 or something. It was horrible.
right.
And I'm like, man, like I picked a great team to root for. Like apparently, like I even bought myself a St. Louis Blues hat, and sure as shit, now they're NHL champions, the first time ever. 52
Yeah,
years they've been in the league. This is the first time ever winning a championship. And anytime somebody that can beat a Boston team, talking like Red Sox, Patriots, the Bruins, I'm going to wrap up the Yankees in there too because they're kind of in that area. Anytime those New England area states lose, I'm happy. So
right.
big shout out to the St. Louis Blues
Yes,
there.
and down here in San Antonio, we were all rooting for the St. Louis Blues as well. They're an affiliate. They're an affiliate to the San Antonio Rampage that we have down here, our
Okay.
minor league hockey team. And Bennington, the goalie, he was great last night. He had like 24
Mm-hmm.
saves or whatever. The goaltender there, and he played with the San Antonio Rampage. So we got to know him a little bit, and it's really nice to see him succeed. You can't write Bennington's story
Yeah.
without writing about San Antonio. So that was nice to see. San Antonio was all pulling for the St. Louis Blues last night, our affiliate, and they won. It was awesome. Game
Yeah.
7. That was really nice. That was amazing to watch.
Yeah, he is the only rookie goaltender, like I believe to win 16 games in the playoffs,
Yes,
and like that is the most you can win. So
right,
he will always have his name edge in stone in the record books
right.
as being the first. But
Yeah,
let's go ahead and switch gears from the ice to the hardwood to the association. Game 6 is tonight, Marcus. We have Golden State at Oracle for the final game in San Francisco ever in this arena, taking on the Toronto Raptors. We know who you got. You got the Raptors, but why are they going to win tonight?
um, the, they're just better. They're better all around. They're better all around basketball team 1 through 10. I've been saying that since the series began. Especially without Kevin Durant. With Kevin Durant, it almost makes it unfair. Although I will say this, they were still hanging in the game with Kevin Durant still in the game the other night, 39-34.
That's
I
right.
just please let's put the Warriors fans out of their misery tonight, please, because this is already. I got Warrior fan has become more obnoxious and more silly talking about how they're the better team and everything. There's no way that they think that. They have to be scared deep down. They've won like 3 or 4 quarters out of the 20, and it's 3-2 Toronto. It should have been a sweep. It wasn't a sweep. I predicted Toronto in 7, but even after watching it, I was like, oh my God, I'm even more right than I thought I was. I mean, there's nothing really that Golden State can do unless they shoot lights out. Listen, Toronto's defense, they're not going to let Stephen Curry beat them. There's absolutely no way. He went for that 47, what was it, in game 3, and they lost because they let Nick Nurse did a calculated risk there, and it was all about analytics, and it was genius. He played Curry straight up, didn't do box and one, didn't do anything to him. Didn't try to blitz pick and rolls or anything, and he let Curry just basically just do his thing. And Curry had 47, and they still lost. That's exactly what Nick Nurse wanted. That will not happen tonight. There's no Kevin Durant. Um, they will do box and one on Curry. They will make life hell for Thompson as well. Um, this is going to be a Game 6 wrap for the Toronto Raptors. And, Kawhi Leonard gets 50 or more points. He becomes the all-time leading scorer in postseason history for one season. But I don't think he's going to get the 50 points. I think the Warriors will stop him to a certain extent. He'll still get his 30, but he won't. If he gets 50, that'll be one of the most amazing things we've ever seen. But Yeah, for him to for Toronto for Kawhi Leonard to break that 50-point record, he needs 50 points. They would have to extend to Game 7, and then it'd really be a wrap. I mean, there's no way Toronto's losing Game 7 on their home court. There's absolutely no way. Yeah, they shouldn't have won the last time. It's just Toronto. Nick Nurse took a timeout
Right.
there, and yeah, it's just ridiculous stuff. And anyway, so Toronto gets it done tonight. On the flip side, I wouldn't let Kawhi Leonard be me either, but it's much harder. This guy's a cyborg. This guy's the closest thing we've seen to Michael Jordan getting to his spots and the strength that he has. So it's easier to stop a Stephen Curry or a Klay Thompson than it is a Kawhi Leonard. They have to stop Kawhi Leonard at the end of halves, end of quarters, end of games. That's where they get the ball. Got to get the ball out of his hands like he did last time. He got Kawhi Leonard. They got the ball out of his hands, and then he threw to Van Fleet, and Van Fleet should have drove, and Van Fleet didn't drive, and he threw to Kyle Lowry, and Draymond Green was just waiting on him, and he tipped the ball, and so Kyle Lowry shot, but didn't go in. But you've got to drive that ball down one. You cannot settle on some 3-point shot. And so Kawhi Leonard kind of made a mistake there. He made the right play, but I would have loved to see Kawhi Leonard just catch and go. And then Van Fleet had an opportunity there to catch and go as well, and he blew that. He could have drawn Draymond in, and then he could have thrown it out to Lowry, or went to the hole, try to get a driving layup or something. Then Kawhi Leonard, one of the best rebounders I've ever seen in my life is Kawhi Leonard. He could have been there for the offensive rebound. None of that happened, but I expect Toronto to win tonight, Game 6, and close this out. Put the Warrior fans out of their misery and put Stephen A. Smith out of his misery. I'm tired of listening to him. Max Kellerman destroys him every single day on First Take. I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. And then he'll sit there and go, I don't even know what you're talking about. Well, I don't know how you don't know what he's talking about. He's speaking English and he's speaking everything correctly. It's so weird. And then I think Stephen A. Smith is like 0-9 now. This is his 9th final in a row. He'll have picked wrong. And then he also says Kawhi Leonard's not the best player in the world. So I mean, the dude's just, I don't know what's wrong with Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah,
but
he's getting old. He's getting
I mean, dude, I almost want to tell him, dude, you're too smart for this.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, stop this. But yeah, Toronto closes it out tonight, Michael. This is Game 6, and I don't expect it to be that close in terms of. I expect Toronto to pull away at the end. I expect Curry they're going to play great defense on Curry and Thompson, and where else is Golden State going to go? Draymond going to hit 30? I mean, I doubt it. Draymond can get a triple double, and they're still losing. He can get, So we'll see what happens. But Toronto closes out tonight.
I hear everything you're saying. I read and I study and all this good stuff, but you are 100% right there. Kawhi Leonard will get the single playoff record in points because he will score 50 points in the next 2 games. In the next 2 games, he will score 50 points. Tonight, the Golden State Warriors, they don't have that chip on their or that, like, they aren't consistently looking over at the sideline. Is KD going to play tonight? Is KD going to play tonight? No, KD's not going to play tonight. He posted on Instagram that he had successful surgery with his torn Achilles. I believe it was this morning when he posted that. So just that burden alone will let you play more loose, more focus on the game. And now, the final game in Oracle Arena, that's also another factor that the Raptors have to play with. That crowd is going to be rocking. Those fans are like, I was at the last game at Oracle. They don't want to go the last game ever in Oracle as a loss. The fans don't, the ownership don't, the players don't, the whole state don't. So everybody's going to be rooting for the Golden State Warriors. That's in the state of California, maybe some Las Vegas and some Utah, but tonight is a night you are going to see Boogie Cousins go off. You are going to see him get 30 to 35 points, 15 boards, 6 or 7 blocks. You're going to see him just be a man's like he was before his Achilles injury and back when he was in the University of Kentucky. The University of Kentucky. Golden State's going to destroy the Raptors tonight. By 6 or 7. but yeah, look for Boogie Cousins to have a big game. Because the Warriors know they only have 2 games left in this season. They're going to play defense 100% of the game. Their defense is not as good as Toronto's, but if they play a little bit of defense the whole game, hold Toronto under 100 points. They score their 109, 115 points. It's a wrap. Game 6, Golden State Warriors tonight. Mark it down. Game 7. Anything can happen in Game 7. And Kawhi will get the single season playoff record points because there'll be 2 more games.
Yeah, anything can happen in a game 7, but I mean, Toronto's dominated this series, and the fact that it's not over yet it's mind-boggling to me.
Like exactly, that is another point there. They have only won what you said 4 or 5 quarters, I think, this whole series.
4 out of 20,
and they've won 2 games doing this. So they win 2 quarters tonight. You give me the first quarter and the fourth quarter, and they win. That's a wrap. The Raptors can't hang.
Let me just tell you something. If Boogie Cousins get 30 points and 15 rebounds, I wouldn't let Serge Ibaka and Marc Gasol on the plane.
Well, you got
I'd say you got to find your own. You got to find your own way back to Canada, man. You're not getting on this plane. Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. I mean, the nostalgia, you know, the last game at Oracle and all that stuff. But I mean, and I probably would agree with you if Durant was playing, or if I saw something different. I mean, if Golden State had been playing better and won 16 out of 20 quarters, and Toronto was down 3-2, I'd be telling you it's a wrap right now too. Like, I'd be telling you, no, Golden State's going to win this. But Toronto's just a better all-around team, and I think they prove it tonight. And if they don't, you know, they're playing a little bit with house money, even though this series should be freaking over. They're playing a little bit with house money. I understand everything. So they know that they have Game 7 at home. But I think they just ended tonight. I mean, they've already beaten the Warriors, Toronto hasn't lost at Oracle this year. They're 3-0.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I expect them to be 4-0. The Toronto Raptors, they have a big crowd too. They're not going to let this moment get to them and be like, oh, man, the crowds. You know what I mean? I don't think they're that way. Not anymore. Not with Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green and Marc Gasol. They've been in big games. We'll see what happens to that. I can't wait to watch this. I'm telling you right now, Curry is gonna be, he's gonna do his usual Curry self.
Yeah.
In big games, without Kevin Durant, where he has to be the load. He'll go. Curry will go 9 of 25.
Oh.
For about 22 points.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, no, about 25 points maybe. If those threes, those few of those will be threes. But yeah, I mean, he's. The Golden State Warriors are now 8-9. They are 8-9 in 17 finals games without Kevin Durant. So they're under 500 against Kawhi Leonard and LeBron James. That's no coincidence.
But you also have to look at Steve Kerr. Ever since the Golden State Warriors have been with Steve Kerr in elimination games, they are 7-1.
Wonderful. That's because he has the greatest team assembled. That's great.
But if you want to throw stats out there, I mean, I'll throw some stats.
Yeah. And Phil Jackson's also awesome with Kobe and Shaq and Jordan and Pippen.
Right.
Yeah. So I'd like to see Phil Jackson with the Sacramento Kings, you know. But yeah, I mean, you know, so we'll see what happens here. But Toronto's too much defense, and they have Kawhi Leonard, and that's the bottom line. And Marc Gasol, I mean, that's another thing. They've got to get the ball to Marc Gasol in the post, man. And they didn't do it in the last few minutes of game 5. Actually, they did it once. They got it to him, and then he got fouled. He got hammered, and then the NBA came out the next day saying, yeah, Boogie Cousins hammered Marc Gasol, and that's the one call we missed in the final 2 minutes. Oh, thanks. You know, Marc Gasol should have been going to the line. And so the NBA admitted they were wrong there. I mean, he got hammered by Boogie Cousins. And that's what happens in these finals. They let stuff go in the last couple of minutes.
Yep.
People get hammered and all that. You know, it's equivalent NFL. Have you ever seen those Hail Mary plays in the NFL?
Yeah.
You can literally, as a defensive back, pull down the receiver. It won't get called. They let everything go in the Hail Mary.
Yeah.
It's just, I'll just crash into you, and, you know, they don't care about the refs in the NFL don't care about Hail Marys. And the refs in the NBA usually don't call stuff in the final 2 minutes unless it's completely egregious, like unbelievable, like a pool, like you can't score or something. They won't call contact in the final 2 minutes lots of times because Gasol got hammered in game 5. Should have been going to the line, and then the NBA admitted that they were wrong on that. So,
I think that is completely wrong. If it's a foul 1 minute into the game, it should be a foul last 1 minute, like in the game. So I hate people like, oh, it's the final minute, don't call a foul.
Yeah.
If it's a foul, it's a foul. Like, I don't care. But that is the story for a day after day because refs kind of just rub me the wrong way sometimes. Even though I used to be a ref. Fun fact there, guys.
Hey, players just want consistency, Michael, just like you said. Players want consistency, man. If you're going to call it like that in the first and second quarter, call that in the fourth quarter as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, speaking of calling things, Marcus, yesterday or 2 days ago, I guess you said you want to see the Oakland Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders, Mexican Raiders, the London Raiders, whatever Raiders they are, the
Right.
NFL Raiders on Hard Knocks. And Marcus, you got your wish. The Hard
Yeah.
Knocks came out yesterday saying that they'll have the Raiders on there for this year. Are you going to watch it?
Oh, absolutely, man. Hard Knocks is always must-see TV for any NFL fan. I mean, the Bengals one was good. I mean, I can't think of one Hard Knocks that was bad. I remember the Baltimore Ravens one, 2001. I think it was great. I mean, they're all great. I mean, every Hard Knocks you get, you get the inside scoop on what's happening and how people are thinking, and you get to know their families and all that. I think that's the ultimate reality TV right there. It's real, man. People's jobs are on the line.
Yep.
You see rookies get cut and everything. And I'm always amazed that when they're getting ready to cut somebody, he's not yelling at somebody like, man, get out of here, or more upset or something. But they're always subdued and docile, and that's fine. I mean, I bet there have been some players that, man, don't interview me when I'm getting cut, man. But the only one that I saw was J.D. Reynolds, a fullback from Oklahoma, was getting cut. And he shut the door on the guy and then shut the door on Hard Knocks and said, man, I don't want to talk about it. So that was the only one that they allowed, I think, on screen on HBO or whatever. It's on Showtime now. I'm not sure what it's even on anymore. But that's the only one that they've that complained when getting cut. J.D. Reynolds. He's an Oklahoma fullback. I listen. I respect the hell out of Mike Mayock. I like John Gruden a little bit, although, man, I don't know what he was doing last year. That's almost like that was kind of weird last year how he ran things. We thought he was going to come in and fix things, but maybe, he's got to implement his stuff, man. He's got to get his people in there, I guess. He's been away from the game for so long. Now, like I said, I respect Mike Mayock. I want to see Mike Mayock in his office talking about who to cut, talking with scouts, talking with Gruden. This is going to be fun stuff, man, to listen to Mike Mayock. I got so used to listening to him. I'm sure you did as well on NFL Network for all these years. And now we get to hear him now in full, all the episodes of Hard Knocks. It's going to be great. I love Mike Mayock. And I can't wait to see how they incorporate the rookies. Clelin Ferrell at the 4th overall pick everybody says it's a reach, but I don't think it was a reach. I'm one of the only ones out there. Abraham, the safety from Mississippi State, hard-hitting safety. And then I want to see Marshawn Lynch retired, so they drafted Josh Jacobs from Alabama. Let's see how they incorporate him. This is going to be fun. And then, hey, Richie Incognito, baby, they signed him. Your resident saying some crazy little racist stuff there once in a while and homophobic stuff. And I can't wait. Listen, I can't wait to see what they do with Richie Incognito. We're either gonna go full in on Incognito and be like, hey man, why are you nuts? Let's see the life of Richie Incognito. See who his wife is. See who all his girlfriends are. Maybe he's got a couple of girlfriends. Maybe he's got 5 kids stashed somewhere. I want to see this. Or they're going to stay completely away from Richie Incognito. They're going to tell HBO or what was it, Showtime or HBO now, they're going to tell NFL Films, hey, man, don't film number 64. Just like when you just pan away from him.
Right.
Because he may say something crazy and make us all look terrible. So either they're going to go full in on Richie Incognito or you're not going to even see a peep out of Richie Incognito. So I'm going to be interested to see that. And then there's always, they have like, late round picks or undrafted free agents that they follow. And I like those stories. They're calling their mom. And what's amazing about this, Michael, that's what I love about Hard Knocks. Even the guys that get undrafted, right, that get invited to camp, right, they were the best in their high school most of the time.
Exactly.
They were like the top 3 in their college. Like, they dominated college, right? But they get to the NFL and they're like, damn. And then you always hear linebackers talk about the speed of the game, right? And so I'll never forget Pat Fitzgerald, the Northwestern coach. Pat Fitzgerald's a great coach at Northwestern there in Chicago. He kicked butt for many years at middle linebacker. He gets to the NFL, and you're thinking, and he was with the Dallas Cowboys in the Dallas Cowboys training camp. He gets there and he was like, damn, I can tackle anybody on this roster here at the Cowboys. But man, that speed sideline to sideline is getting me. And so he had to eventually only play like 1 year. I think, and so the speed got to him. I mean, some people just aren't fast enough to do this. I think Charles Davis, also out of Tennessee, defensive back on NFL Network. I don't know, you know him, right?
Yes.
He got to Cowboys training camp. He was a good player. And he got to Cowboys training camp and he realized, damn, these guys are fast. This thing is, and I don't know if I'm good enough to play. And he wasn't. He played 1 year with the Cowboys and was gone. You know what I mean? So you find out real quickly if you're NFL material, and that's what's fun about Hard Knocks is you'll see like a player from Middle Tennessee State and a player from Oklahoma battling for the same spot, and they both may get cut just because he went to middle. Or you'll see the Middle Tennessee State guy beat out the Oklahoma guy, and so you find out, and then they call their moms like, "I made it, I didn't make it, I'm on the practice squad." It's really fun to watch. It's must see TV. It's the ultimate reality TV, just like the NBA draft and NFL drafts are, because these people, this isn't this fake reality TV where it's all scripted and all that. No, this is actually happening. This is messing with these players' lives, their livelihood here. Some of these players are going to be selling insurance and using falling back on their degree, but they're trying football first, and I would too. It's fun to get paid a few $100,000 and play football. So that's Hard Knocks is so interesting, and yes, I'm glad it's the Raiders. That's going to be fun to watch Mike Mayock and these boys, how they talk about their teams and how they analyze their teams and what the product the 53-man roster they're going to put together. That's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And this show has a certain way of humbling even the best players. So I encourage all those high school kids out there that
Yes.
like think they are the greatest thing to walk
Yes.
this earth. All these people were
Yes.
the greatest thing to walk their earth at their
Yeah.
high school, and
Right.
they aren't even making it. So you
Right.
need to learn how to humble yourselves real quick, because if you don't do it now, the NFL will, or the college level will. So learn how to humble yourselves real quick and work just as hard just to
And
make it. So
and this is why I like, to a certain extent, you have to play 3 years in the NFL before you enter the NFL draft, because some of these kids aren't going to make it, and they're just a year away from their degree.
right.
So all they have to do is go back to school for 1 year, and then they can get a job with their degree or whatever, and then maybe they can coach like you're doing.
Yep.
They can do certain things like that. And that's just another subject. There's only a handful of players that can come out after their sophomore or freshman season, and that's very few.
Very.
I think Adrian Peterson, Ed Oliver. I mean, we're talking. I mean, listen, two dominators of this draft. Quinnen Williams couldn't have come out after his freshman year at Alabama, or I don't think even Devin White of LSU, who reminds me of Ray Lewis. I mean, Bush, the first-round pick from the Steelers, Michigan, a headhunter, a tackler, going to replace Ryan Shazier.
Yep.
I don't think he was ready after his freshman year. You become a man like in that 19 to 20 range. So
Yeah.
I'm glad the NFL has a rule like that. And then if these guys get cut, like I said, they're a year away from their degree. And then even if they bust their ass in college, they may have already graduated in 3 years. And then they can just fall back on, what their degree is. So you make an excellent point. Make the high school kids watch this, because there's some players at different high schools that have plaques like such and such went here, but he could only play 1 year on the Pittsburgh Steelers or he was just on the practice squad, because man, it is so hard to make it in the NFL.
Well, and this also shows that a lot of people don't know how to work hard, just because they've been a big fish in a
Right.
small pond for
Mhm.
so long that they never had to work hard to get where they're at. And
Right.
just because the NFL practices might be in just helmets and shorts and shirts, they are working their tails off day in
Yes.
and day out, and this will show you that. So yes, I do love this show. Like, I watch it every
Yeah.
year. This is the only reason why I have the HBO app. Like, otherwise I would be canceling it, since Game of Thrones is no longer here, and season 8 was horrible, but that's a story for a different day. But definitely excited to see, because John Gruden, if you guys would ever just listen to him in the games when he broadcast Monday night games, he had such a knowledge of the game.
Yes.
And then his quarterback camp that like he had, this guy has so much knowledge to pass down. So watching this show, you might be able to basically learn from a top tier coach for free almost. Like, hey,
Yes.
why are you stepping left when you should be stepping right?
Right.
It's just little things like that. Like, you just have to listen. Like, you have to be able to pick and choose. Like and listen. So definitely enjoy the show.
Yes.
I'm not for sure when it comes out. Usually it's like late November or so when the first episode starts to come.
No. That thing's in training camp. It's like August.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
here in about two months start
Yes.
seeing the first episodes of
Right.
Hard Knocks. So
Mhm.
guys, definitely check that out. Marcus, any closing thoughts before we head out?
Toronto Raptors 103, Golden State 92, and they'll be celebrating in Toronto tonight. People in Toronto will get drunk. Please don't tear up Toronto City, even though I'm not in Canada or anything like that, but we just don't want to see that. This thing is a wrap tonight. You will see Stephen Curry be so frustrated, and you'll see him just put his mouthpiece in. He'll just be, oh man, and yeah, and Klay Thompson. And you know what? Toronto fans might give them an applause. You know what? You're going to see this. You're going to see Toronto fans give Curry and Thompson an applause when they walk off the court, or when when it's so bad that Toronto be up by 15 or something, and then they'll give them like a last standing ovation for their run that they made. Thank you for the memories.
That's all right, Marcus. You can be wrong 2 days in a row. I won't hold
Right.
anything against you guys. But guys, as always, thank you for joining us. Join us tomorrow. We will definitely be recapping Game 6 as well, going into Game 7, hopefully for my sake. And if not,
Right.
we'll be celebrating a Toronto Raptors championship. And guys, mock draft or the NBA draft is only about
Yeah.
a week and a half away. So we're going to fully dive in deep into Marcus's mock draft 2.0. Where does he got that special talent, Keldon Johnson from Kentucky? He better be top
Oh,
10.
that's gonna be good. That'll be really good.
Better be top 10 by now. But goodbye, guys.
All right, Michael. Have a good one, man.
All right, guys. Join us tomorrow, same time, same location. We out.